Hey Hodies, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we're going to be reviewing my 2022 April purchases. Before we jump too far into it, I'm not feeling my best, so I don't normally sound like this. I'm super congested. My throat's been bothering me. I'm on the mend. I was like really not able to talk for a couple of hours. I could talk, but it wasn't sounding very good. I mean, not that it sounds great today, but I wanted to put out a video, so I apologize for not sounding my best. But if you're new to my channel is about loving my makeup collection as it currently is, while being critical of new makeup releases and being very considerate about what I do decide to bring into my makeup collection. So if that kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video, and I'm also on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. There is no pressure to you. I'm just so happy that you're here. Thank you to all my current patrons. You are the best. Now I'm sounding like a robot. In front of me, I have my spreadsheet from last year from my budget, and I'm gonna walk you through all of the things that I bought last year, tell you if it's still in my collection, if it's not, and then I'm gonna tell you why it is or is not as we progress through here. I have as much of it on my face today as I could get on my face. If I have it, I have used it. I didn't record any like footage of me applying these things. Why would I have that kind of foresight? The foresight channel? I'm not a psychic. I'm no medium. That's not me. So I actually bought a lot in April last year because oddly there were so many sales in April. What a weird time for sales, but like there were so many sales in April. I bought two things from Cosmetics. They had like a buy anything on the website, get a serum blush for free. So I did that. I bought one of the Heaven's Glow blushes and it was in the shade, I don't even remember, but it was the orange one, and Faded Clementine. I think that's what it was. And I also got the serum blush in, I don't remember. Anyway, I don't have either of these anymore. So the first, the powder blush, I remember not liking. I remember thinking that it was like a really good pigmentation. It didn't go on too heavy. It was really easy to work up to the pigmentation that you wanted. It wasn't like a wow kabam. It reminded me a lot of the Hourglass blushes if you ever used them. The only thing is that there was a sparkle in it, and and that's not like a deterrent for me personally, like that's not, but the sparkle, the way it dispersed on the skin was not consistent. So it all kind of like would bunch up in the same place, or there would be like large patches with no shimmer and then like intense shimmer on some parts of my face. I just didn't like that, and I didn't find that to be very elegant. And I don't know if all of the Heaven's Glow blushes have that kind of sparkle to them, but it was just not for me. I actually really liked the serum blush, and I had it for a while, but it's just something that I realized that I wasn't pulling out very often because I like using my creams and my liquids all together before I powder, and it was one of those things where I would like powder and then be like, oh, I could have used it. And it's one of those things where I would like sometimes set it out on my vanity purposefully to be like, we're gonna base my makeup around this, and I would forget to use it and end up grabbing another blush anyway. So I know they've updated this packaging. I had the old packaging. I don't have that many issues with the packaging, and I've heard that the new one, the same issues are still kind of occurring. I didn't have that many issues with them, and it actually wore really well on my oily skin, and I thought it was like a really pretty like watercolor kind of blush. There were a lot of good things about it. I just wasn't using it that often, and because of the packaging and like all of those things, it just like wasn't something that I thought of very often. It was like on the top of my mind. Kind of like immediately after I bought both of them, it's like, I swear to God, I like bought them, and they might not have even made it to my house yet. The owner of the company, Michelle Fawn, said a bunch of weird stuff about spiritually healing someone who was in a wheelchair and saying that they were able to walk again, and like was saying like a bunch of like ableist weird things, and I was just like, so like that was my first and last purchase from Cosmetics, so I won't be buying from them again. Anyway, the quality of the products was good, so if you want to buy from them, I think that you might find some good stuff there. I've heard good things about a lot of their products, but it's not for me. The next thing I bought was the Rare Tinted Moisturizer. And if you would have asked me, I could have sworn I bought that in February, but I bought it when it came out. And it came out, I think, during the Sephora sale. And I ended up buying two things during the Sephora sale, but I did not buy them in the same purchase. So the first thing I bought was the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer. And I really like this. I have a review of it. I will link it up in the cards. It's like from that time period. So you'll see the quality of my videos and the way that I used to, like, I don't know. Anyway, I did like a very detailed review of it. And I really liked it. And I really did like it. And I thought it looked really good on my skin. I liked the consistency of it. What happened was I bought another foundation also in April, and I liked it a lot more. And this was where I was starting to get really picky with what I was like deciding to keep. I think I had this rule last year where I like only wanted to have a maximum of 4 foundations. So when I made that rule, the Rare Beauty just kind of got bumped out. And so the foundation that bumps it out that I also bought this month that we'll talk about in a second is the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation. And it was just better. Like it, and it was like more suited to my needs. But I do think that it's a very beautiful formula, and I could see why people would like it. It has more coverage than the Glossier skin tint, and I guess if I'm going the route of skin tint, I'm looking for actual sheer coverage, which is like not everyone's gig, and that I feel like that had more of like a light. You could also maybe do a medium coverage, but it was a beautiful formula. I really liked it. I remember being confused that there was both like physical and chemical sunscreen in it. It was like, it's just a strange little product. Worth checking out if you like have any interest in it. But also during the sale, I bought the BareMinerals Blonzer and Kiss of Copper, and this has been a very beautiful relationship that we have. I have it on my cheeks today. I love an orange blush, and this is like, I think, well, it's this or Smolder from Phytosurgeons. It's like my 2 favorite orange blushes. I bought these because everyone could not shut up about the Blonzers. I feel like less people are talking about the Blonzers this year, and don't forget about them. They're a killer product. If you were thinking about them, I recommend them. I just think they're so good. Again, I like an orange blush. I like the opacity of it. I like how wearable it is, even on my lighter skin tone, because I know that a lot of people with like a lighter skin tone don't typically like orange-based products. I am the exception to the rule, and I'm here to tell you if you want to explore it, you should. Especially if you want to do green eyeshadow, green on the eyes, orange on the cheeks. Chef's kiss. It's my go-to combo. And I feel like I talk so much about orange blush and green eyeshadow, and I like never wear them on my channel. In today's video, I have green on my eyes and I have orange blush on. I walk the walk sometimes. I don't always walk the duck, but I do sometimes. The only thing about these is they can be a little bit pigmented. So I recommend if you have one of these and you always felt like it's been overwhelming, try a fan brush that's like, you know, not as densely packed. You probably have a better experience with it, unless you have Kiss of Pink, which I also have Kiss of Pink, but that was not purchased at this time last year. Kiss of Pink is much more wearable for my skin tone, so I don't have to be as like cautious when I apply that one. But this wanted to be a little cautious. To be a little bit cautious about what I'm doing. I love this product, and that's why it's still here, right? It didn't get kicked out. It gets to stay in bed. So I made 2 purchases from Friends Beauty, and I don't own either one of these things anymore. The first thing was this Jouer blush duo in Coquette, and it was these like light purples. And so because I have so many like orange leaning blushes, and that's like my preference, the problem with that is that I love a cool toned eye look. And so while I firmly believe there are no rules in color or whatever, I don't like the way it looks on my face, and so it's not something that I would choose to do. But what was occurring was that I like didn't have blushes that I could wear with like these really cool toned intense eyeshadow looks that I was doing, and I was like, well, I need to figure this out. So I bought this to try to fill that. And so I actually really like the blush formula. They were very finely milled. They went on the skin beautifully, and they blended out beautifully, and they looked really one with my skin. They were really great. Like I kind of like actually have no complaints about them. I just didn't like these colors that much. I spent a lot of last year like trying to like find the blush that would like accomplish that. And while these were really good, it was one of those things where it was in my drawer and I never pulled them out. I liked them enough to like keep them around for a while. And at the end of last year, I was just like, I never use these. And I did find something to fulfill that fantasy, but I didn't buy them in the month of April. So we guys don't talk about them. But if you've been following my career, you know what they are. And you even know that I've been really enjoying pink blush. And that was something that I was avoiding. But I don't think I liked the tones of these pinks, because they were like leaning more lilac purple, which I thought I would like more, but I guess that's not true. I do think I would like a purple blush, but I think those were purple blushes, like purple pink blushes that were meant to be for the person who's like afraid of blush or like looking for something more natural feeling on their skin. And it does that. These 2 do that, but that's, I guess, not my fantasy, and so that's why they didn't work out for me. The other thing was the Chantecaille. Welcome to the stage, Chantecaille. It was the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation. I really like this foundation, and I also have a review of that. I will try to remember to link that up in the cards and down below. And I really got on with it quite well, and I liked it. I have a problem with foundation in jars. I really do. It turns me off. The fact that I have to get a spatula in there, pull out product, I always feel like I'm overusing it, and that was like a big problem. I also have the Surratt Dewdrop Foundation. And after some time with the Chantecaille, I just realized that my preference was much more with the Surratt Dewdrop, and I was using that over the Chantecaille because they kind of served a very similar purpose in my head. Like, they were both like lighter coverage and they both did a lot of blurring, but if I was going to pick one, I always was picking the Dewdrop. And so because I felt that they were very similar, that's why I ended up passing the Chantecaille on to a friend, and they are getting very good use out of it. They use it like every day. And so I wasn't. And so it was in a jar, and I have a feeling that the 12 months is like much less of a suggestion when it comes to like things in a jar because there's no airtightness to them. And so I'm just glad that it's getting used because it is a beautiful product. I think it's really, really nice. It's just, I don't think I need to like revisit it. Like I feel like I spent my time with it. I used it the times I had. And then I was just like, I think I'm over it. And like I had the Surratt Dewdrop for much longer than I had the Chantecaille. Like I was already on my like second bottle of the Surratt by the time I had the Chantecaille, or like was close, you know, like there was like, I had been using the Surratt for about a year at that point. And so I was just like, if I still like the Surratt more than this, then this isn't going to give me anything that the Surratt can't, then I just am going to keep using the Surratt. And that's why the Surratt's my favorite foundation. And that's why Chantecaille got the boot, because I made room for other things. The next thing I purchased was from Merit. So Merit had sent me some PR, but I wanted to buy some more things to like round out my review of the brand a little bit more. They sent me the complexion stick, and they also sent me the 1990 lipstick. So I bought another shade of the lipstick. I bought Slip, and I also bought one of the blushes, and I think it was called Hollywood. It's something to do with LA, something very LA. Anyway, the blush is just not for me. It's a blush balm, so the amount of pigment you get and the payoff you get is just not as high as I want, and I just never found myself reaching for it. I felt the product was fine. I thought it was a pretty color, but it didn't have like the longevity that I would like from it, and I'm not really actually that picky about longevity. Like, I'm one of those people who applies my makeup and then I like leave and go do the thing, and like when I come home at night, I'm just like, is there still makeup on my face? And like obviously there are people who really want some like airtight makeup, and I'm honestly not. I don't touch up. I don't like fuss with my makeup after I apply it. I'm very much like, I do it and then I leave, and then like whatever happens happens, and I pay attention to it sometimes, but like I guess when I come home at the end of like an 8-hour day or a 12-hour day, like I don't need my blush to still be visible, but like this would fade very, very quickly, and it just, like, the application, like, it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it to me. It's fine. It's a fine product. And if you like a very, like, light flush of color, I think it's good. It just, like, isn't the kind of blush product that I'm looking for. And I liked it less than the serum blush from Cosmetics. If I had to pick between the two the sheer blushes that I had, I'd rather have gone for the serum one. And I also didn't reach for that. So I think what we're getting to, the bottom here, like what is the thesis of the essay? What is that? What was that last paragraph called? The introductory paragraph, and then you had to end with your thesis statement, right? Was that what it's called? I'm thinking about like MLA formatting, and I'm like, what was that? Because I remember that was so important in elementary school, where they were like, or like, you know, up into high school, they were like, this statement needs to really hit home, children. And I don't know that I was ever very good at that. But I also bought Slip from Merit. This is one of their lipsticks. Mine's a mess. It's like a mess. It's a mess. It's a whole mess. Now, this shade, for whatever reason, did that, but 1990 never has done that for me. I like the shade. That's what I have on my lips now. When I was applying it, I was like, I think this whole thing is going to fall out of here. I think this whole product is going to fall out of this container. And I love the packaging of these, and I love 1990. And I also really like this one. And I mostly keep this around to like sometimes throw it on, but like I feel like eventually I'm just going to have to throw it out because it's just like a mess. Like I would never pass this on to a friend. I like the shade, but I don't know what it is about this particular shade of this formula that ends up being so soft. I have had discourse about this in my comment section, and I have taken this out with me on hot summer days, but I don't think I ever took 1990 out with me on a hot summer day. But someone in my comment section said that they had taken 1990 out on hot summer day, and it does this. So there must be something about whenever you get it too hot, the formula is just like never the same, and it's like goopy, blah, 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 and it just like, it doesn't behave. I don't know if that's like actually the thing, because for a while there I thought it was maybe like the more light shades maybe had this bullet issue, but it seems to be like a temperature thing. Like it can't be exposed to like too much of a heat. And as you know, we are just burning up this planet. So it's like you really don't have a chance in the summer. So maybe take lip glosses out with you in the summer as opposed to taking out lipsticks, because they just get messy. But I love this formula. I'm a big fan of the signature lips. I know not everyone is, but they really work out for me. I think they're really comfortable. I love that they like are kind of more of like a wash of color. I find that they stay put on my lips. I don't know why. they don't feel like a formula that should, but they just do it for me, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so congested. I just said man. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm dehydrated. I feel like I haven't moved in days. I feel so sluggish. So the next thing I bought in April of last year was the Chanel color corrector, the green color corrector. I asked this last year when I purchased this, and I think I asked it so many times, but I was personally victimized by Hannah Louise Poston's postponement and putting off of the green color corrector video. And what happened was I saw her using this one the most, so I assumed that that was gonna be the one that she liked the most. Joke's on me. It wasn't. Now I have this, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't know that I would have bought the one that she recommended because I think the EXA one is the one that she ended up landing on, but I don't even know that she had that. Again, I can't recall. I was so attacked when she posted the video, I turned red. My head turned into flames. So I bought this because I had never tried a color correctors. I tend to lean rosy, and it's not something that I'm very self-conscious about. So it's not something, like, I feel like if you've ever watched Hannah's channel, I think Hannah is like self-conscious about her redness. Like, she'll wear green color corrector when she's like not wearing makeup in order to like counteract redness. That's like not, I don't feel that way about my redness, and so like I will let it fly. In fact, I like light coverage things. I'm like fully comfortable with my skin looking the way that it's gonna look, which is why I like light coverage concealers. Again, knock on wood, it's nice skin privilege, right? I know that I have good skin, and I'm trying really hard not to take it for granted, and I just want to make that very clear when I talk about complexion products. It's this feels like really shitty to say, but I'm almost kind of just wearing them for fun. I thought on days where I wanted to be like completely perfected, like say I had an event or something, I wanted to try color corrector. So I bought this. It is good. I don't think that you need to spend this much on a color corrector. I'm going to use another Chanel product as an example because I think it's important for context. This is in like a tube that you could find from Maybelline. It's plastic frosted product. The only luxury bit is the embossing on top, right? That's the Chanel, right? That's the only reason that you would know this is a Chanel product. It's not particularly weighted. That's not giving anything else. The formula, beautiful. And it works really well. And I have no complaints about the formula. But I don't think that this formula is so good that you should not buy a lesser expensive one, right? Especially when it looks like this, right? Like, and that's me, right? That's a me thing. Maybe your definition of luxury is just the formulas. I don't even think that the formula, right? And so whenever it feels like this and looks like this, it's just like, what was the point of buying this? Because this was like $45 or something like that. You don't need to buy a $45 color corrector. It's not like Chanel can't do that, because I have this from Chanel. This is the Sublimage Le Temps foundation. And this is in a glass container. It's really heavy. It feels luxury. It, you know, it has like all those things that you would want from it to be. It's like, it's all of those things. So I don't know why this is the way it is and then this is the way that it is. Now, this is also $135. It's just like, I also have the bronzer from Chanel, and that's in plastic packaging. There are certainly concealers that are less expensive than this that come in like more like luxurious feeling packaging. So I just don't think this is worth it, but it's the only color corrector I have, and I'm not doing the Hannah Louise Poston like on a journey to figure out which color corrector is my favorite color corrector. Like, that's not something that I'm interested in doing. So I have this, I'm just gonna use it until it's gone, and then if I feel so inclined to buy another green color corrector, it very likely won't be this one. The last thing I bought was this. This was a lab sample release of the Luminous Elixir 3-Drop Foundation from Rituel De Fille. So, like, this isn't sold. This was like, if you're not familiar with Rituel De Fille's, like, system, so sometimes whenever they want feedback on a product, they'll sell, like, a limited bit of a product for people to try, and then whenever you buy it, you then do a survey a couple months after you have it, or like a month after, a couple weeks, I don't know. They send you an email to then send them feedback. And you can be as detailed as you want because it's all like open-ended questions. I bought it because I love Rituel De Fille. I don't really like saying that I have favorite brands, but it's a brand that I'm often like keeping my eyes on. I just like that they do with color, and I just like I love their branding. Like, everything about it is just like, it's giving. If Rituel De Fille, it's giving. Like, they like, while I haven't loved everything I have tried from Rituel De Fille, I'm like always rooting for them, right? And sometimes I'll see something that they released and I'm like, that's not for me, but it's still beautiful. And I can like recognize that. So let me tell you a little bit about this. I don't know when they're planning on releasing whatever their foundation is going to look like. I don't know that. I'm not privy to that information. I did a full detailed video about this. I will leave it in the cards or links down below. I have gone on a journey with this. First and foremost, I think when I got it, I felt like it wasn't fully like blended because I could see like bits of like red pigment still in it, and I was just like, so every time I shook it, I wasn't sure how long I had to shake it. I always felt like it wasn't fully combined whenever I was using it the first couple times, and so I couldn't really get my head around it. Even in the review that I have posted, I'm like, I certainly don't know how I feel about this, and it has continued to kind of feel that way. However, I keep holding on to it. It keeps remaining in that like core four of foundation. Right now I have so many foundations, and I'm I need to get some out. I need to like move past some of them. I like it because of some people don't like applying foundation with their hands, right? But you have to like do the 3 drops, and then you have to like warm it up in your hands. You like press it into your skin, and the thing is, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything to your skin, and then it does. And that's what I'm wearing today. And I have concealer on it as well, but like it looks like I'm wearing, it doesn't look like a light coverage foundation, but it doesn't feel like I'm wearing foundation. It doesn't feel like anything. It's so lightweight. The problems that I have with it is I do not like the way it smells. People have told me why they use certain essential oils that they do for some things, because some of them are preservatives or whatever. I don't want my foundation to smell like frankincense. No, it does. It dissipates almost immediately. Like it's like you apply it and then you almost immediately can't smell it. But like putting it up to my face the first time, I was like it's jarring, and it's like not going to be for everyone. Now, there are some crunchy granola girls out there who would love that. They would love that their foundation smells like that. But I'm not a crunchy granola girl. I'm so sorry. Like, and I know that Rituel De Fille is a brand that like boasts itself as a clean beauty brand. I myself am not particularly keeping my eyes peeled for clean beauty. It's not something that I'm subscribed to. I think Rituel De Fille is one of those brands that claims to be clean beauty that also is like delivering on like real products, because I feel like a lot of brands aren't doing that. Like there's like color and intrigue and pigment, whenever it comes to Rituel De Fille. So I just wish it didn't smell like frankincense. And I also went like I don't mind shaking the bottle, but it does feel like I have to shake it more than any other foundation to like remix it every time I use it. And like the longer you go without using it, the more shaking you have to do to bring it back to life, because it does kind of like separate a little bit. It's certainly not a foundation that I could like recommend to you very confidently. It's like you have to like hear the nuances of it. Also, whenever they release it, who knows what's going to be different from what I experienced with this to like what will be eventually on the market. I'm not privy to that, and we won't know until it's released, and then of course I'll have to do it, because I mean I don't know. I know that other people have bought this, but I feel like I'm the only person who reviewed it. Like I know Teresa decluttered hers. I know that Kaki decluttered hers because she got the wrong product. Am I the only person who has like a review of this up? I hate when YouTubers say this, but like I feel like I had to hold on to this at least until the next one comes out so we can do a comparison to see what happened. But anyway, I like this. I like this a lot. I didn't wear it a lot during the winter. I will be honest with that. I was more into I was reaching for my Surratt a lot more. And also the House Labs. The House Labs foundation I was reaching for a lot in the wintertime. This feels much more like it feels like a summertime foundation. It's like light coverage, easy breezy. And it's like it's so weird because it's not noticeable, but it definitely has coverage. Like even if it were to break, and I have worn it on days where it like, it was too hot for me to be wearing makeup, and I like bothered anyway. And it kind of like it didn't even like it's just the way it relieved itself from my face was very organic, and it didn't feel like when I was sweating that it was just like drips through the foundation. It like becomes one with your skin. It's so strange. It's like such a strange foundation. This was a lab sample release, so I have no idea what this will look like, smell like, feel like, look like on the skin when it is released, but I did want to include it, and I still have it. So it's lasted a declutter, like it's lasted a whole year and it hasn't been decluttered. And what I'm kind of realizing more recently, I was actually thinking about this not that long ago. It's not that I have like a high turnover in my collection, but there's like a couple categories that have high turnover. I haven't really kept an eyeshadow palette since I did my Charlotte Tilbury review. But everything I've reviewed this year as far as like eyeshadow goes is like it's come in and it has gone out of my collection. There's just like a high turnover for like stuff I've been reviewing. I'm being a little more discerning about what I'm choosing to keep, because sometimes a product my philosophy used to be that like if a product was okay, I would like keep it around, and like no, for it to stick around, I like it has to like live up here almost rent free whenever I'm thinking about my makeup, and I'm like, that's the thing. Like that's the thing. Like today I pulled out, for example, if we go, so I was pulling out the stuff that I have still have that I bought last April. So I was like, okay, I knew I was going to use this foundation. I was like, obviously I'm going to use Thorn Oil with that. And then I was like, I'm going to be wearing the Blonzer, and I was like, Phosphine from Rituel De Fille is going to go really well with that. And this is like a newer feeling to me, and I feel like it started last year, but like I like know everything in my makeup collection in a very real way, where like I know what I'm grabbing for, and like it's all very intentional. Whenever I would keep things that were just okay, they would never get used, because I knew in my brain what I liked the best. And if you start keeping too many mediocre things, you start grabbing for them because you see them, and you start forgetting that like you have like better makeup in your collection. And it's like, why am I not just like using my better makeup? And so that's been one of those things that I've felt that have been more like revolutionary as I have been like moving myself away from like being more strict about my budget and being, you know, like just, it's just like a thing that I've noticed. So I felt like this is a good place to share that. Anyway, Phosphine, also from Rituel De Fille. Gorgeous. I think my voice is done. I recorded a Patreon video like as I was getting ready for this video. And as I was talking in that video, I was like, I really hope my voice doesn't crap out before I film my other video. And I think we are there. We've reached the limitations of my voice. And this was actually, there was so many products that I was talking for a very long time. Anyway, I appreciate you all so much for watching. If it's your first time here and you enjoyed today's video, please watch another video where you can hear my voice and like, I mean, I still had energy today, but like, you know, you need to see it full force. May I recommend the video I did with Khaki as like a better example of what my channel is like, if this is your first time here. I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. And I'm also on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. Patrons, there's either a video that already went up for you or it's going to come soon. It's filmed. I just need to edit it. And of course I'm sick during it, so I apologize. I'm so sorry I'm sick. Anyway, remember to follow your hote and you will find me. Okay, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to sing. Okay, bye-bye. I think I just have to go with friends. It was so sad. Okay, hold on. Let's try. Okay. I think